For this video, I'm going to take you on a full tour of the Rosen Inn Lake Buena Vista, located in Orlando, Florida. Well, it looks like I'm back in Orlando, Florida, and once again I'm staying at another Rosen Inn. Let's face it, I'm what you would call a budget traveler, so for me, going to the Rosen Inn is a no-brainer. They consistently offer nice accommodations for an affordable price. So as you can already tell, me starting off this video with such a positive tone, I just came back from another pleasant stay. When it comes to overall maintenance in the hotel industry, there's a huge gap between the properties that aren't even trying and the ones that really excel at it. For me, I'd place the Rosen Inn properties in the category of companies that really excel and thrive at maintaining their properties. Throughout this video, you're going to notice that one of the buildings was completely fenced off, and they were completely taking it down to basically the studs and renovating and updating and refurbishing it. So this is a company that is never complacent about that sort of thing, and they are just so good at keeping these buildings looking fresh and new. You can tell they clean the sheets and replace the beds on a normal interval, and just everything is just flawless. I've never had any kind of issues whatsoever anytime I've gone to a Rosen Inn. And the thing I love about this particular Rosen Inn, being located at Lake Buena Vista, it is so convenient. I mean, I was only about 3 miles away from SeaWorld. I was obviously in the Lake Buena Vista area, so Disney Springs was almost walking distance. And you're also nearby Walt Disney World and Epcot and Animal Kingdom and Hollywood Studios. The only park that's a little bit of a drive is probably Universal Studios and Islands of Adventure, but there are Rosen Inns located directly on International Drive, so if your focus is on Universal or Islands of Adventure, then you'd probably prefer to stay at that particular location. This Lake Buena Vista location will be pretty close to Universal's newest theme park, which is Epic Universe, that's going to be opening up in about a year from now. That park is being built, I would say, about 2.5 miles away from this hotel. Now, compared to the Rosen Inn that I reviewed last at Pointe Orlando, this is a smaller facility. There were only 4 buildings here at the Lake Buena Vista Rosen Inn, and I believe the one in Pointe Orlando had 12, so it's a smaller setup. But this Rosen still shares the same type of amenities. They've got multiple on-site restaurants, there's a great arcade, they've got the fitness room, multiple pools, an exercise room. This one has like this really nice outdoor deck that kind of goes over the banana plantation, which is all these gardens full of banana trees. There's a complimentary shuttle bus that takes you to the different theme parks located in Central Florida, so there's a lot of great amenities here at the Rosen Inn. The only drawback that I can see staying here is the same limitation that was at the other Rosen Inn, being that both of these properties are located directly next to Interstate 4 for convenience. The traffic on Interstate 4 is pretty noisy, so if you have trouble sleeping with the sound of trucks passing at night and cars with loud exhausts, then staying here might be a little difficult. You might be better off at one of the resorts that is farther away from a highway. As for the hotel room themselves, it's pretty much what you would expect at like a mid-tier hotel. You got a 32-inch TV, an armoire, you've got an ironing board, an iron, there's a safe, a mini fridge, a microwave oven, desk, armchair, pretty much everything you would expect in a modern hotel room. The room rates for the Rosen Inn, they vary, but you would pretty much expect to spend about $80 a night. In peak season, it's going to creep up to more like $100. But compared to the other hotels in Orlando, it's a competitively priced hotel. There are definitely cheaper hotel options, but trust me, you're going to get what you pay for on those. So for my bottom line, would I recommend the Rosen Inn at Lake Buena Vista? Oh, definitely, without hesitation. The Rosen Inns have been the most consistent hotels that I've ever stayed at. I've probably stayed at them now about a half dozen times. The rooms are always clean, the beds are always comfortable, The sheets are always just meticulously washed and laundered. By comparison, I recently stayed at La Quinta, and that place was a mess. Like, the bed frame was broken on one of the beds. There was an armchair with an arm that had snapped off. The dresser had a drawer that was broken in the back, so you couldn't close the fixture all the way. Compared to the Rosen, where everything is replaced and updated and renovated, staying here is just like nirvana. It's just on another plane, and it's crazy. The La Quinta was actually more expensive than this place, and was clearly vastly inferior to the Rosen. Well, those are all my thoughts on the Rosen Inn at Lake Buena Vista. For the rest of this video tour, I'm just going to play some music to wrap it up. Thanks for joining me on this video tour of the Rosen Inn at Lake Buena Vista. If you enjoyed this episode of The Adventure Schmuck, don't forget to like and subscribe.